Yeah, so we designed our daycare to be a little bit different for two main reasons. Reason number one, this is the secondary reason, but I'm gonna mention it first, is I don't know if you can see over here, I don't know if we're on camera, but there's like an apartment building right there, there's a condo right there. And actually behind us, like right behind our fence, like 2 feet away is like another condo. And so when we were moving in here, the city was like, you know, you realize there's houses all around, so we gotta be careful about that. You know, they don't want sound, they don't want the odor, things like that. And I said, yeah, you know, of course. And so, you know, that's one reason that we designed things the way that we did. I'll tell you more about what we did, is we need to be respectful to our neighbors. And in fact, the first week that we were in here, I was thrilled. A lady comes in, she's like, "Can I speak with Ty?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." She's like, "I just want to shake your hand and say thank you. I'm the one that lives right there." And we were expecting to have big problems and barking and blah, blah, blah. And as it turns out, she said the only time she hears any barking is a little bit at 5 in the morning when the dogs come out for the first time. But yeah, so we've been able to do a nice job. That's one reason why we do things, one of the ways we do, is to keep barking down and to keep down the odor. And I'll explain what we do. But the other reason is this is a training facility above all. And so a lot of daycare spots are just a place for dogs to come play for 8 hours without a whole lot of thought given to the mental health especially. And that's a problem. Dogs aren't meant to be playing, you know, it's not healthy for a dog to be playing. Oh, hey buddy. Got a little crotch bump there. Not healthy for a dog to be playing for 8 hours with crazy adrenaline, with barking, with humping, with you know, all of these, you know, kind of high energy behaviors. We want dogs to play and have fun, but we've got to do things in a certain way in order to maintain their mental health. I can't tell you how many folks come to us because they went to a different daycare. And you know, daycares do a great job. This isn't to bash other daycares, but how many folks come to us because their dog got attacked at a daycare, or was the one that attacked somebody at a daycare, or started developing behavior problems at a daycare. And it's all because, like I say, it's set up in such a way where the dogs play for 8 hours. It's way too much. I mean, think about your kid, if you have kids. Think about a child playing at full adrenaline for 8 hours. What would that do to a kid? The kid would develop no impulse control. The kid would develop very inappropriate relationships, because if all you're doing is playing heavy for hours every day, you're going to develop problems. And so, like I say, we started doing things different here. Torres, what's one thing we do different?
We do structured play.
Structured play.
Yeah. Whoa.
Thank you guys.
Back.
Let me know if you get questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I say, structured play looks kind of like this. You see these, you know, some guys are running around, some guys are socializing, some guys are talking.
So get a break.
Some are what?
Get a break, a down, save.
Yeah, we'll often throw in like obedience as we do stuff. So if we see a dog getting a little bit too energetic, we might have that dog go downstay. We might have that dog kind of hang out for a bit. Still be a part of the group, but you know, in fact, most of our clients have done some training before they ever do daycare. We also do stuff like this. We do personality matching and size matching. And so, you know, we don't want tiny dogs accidentally getting hurt by big dogs. Does Senna lift his leg on everything? Yeah? So yeah, personality matching is a big thing, and because we cycle, so when I say cycle, we're gonna let this group play for 30 minutes to an hour, and then they're gonna go take a break. And then the next group's gonna play for 30 minutes to an hour and then take a break. And the next group, and we keep cycling throughout the day. And so what we found is, because we're engaging their mind, doing training stuff throughout the day, because we're engaging their mind and making sure they're playing with appropriate playmates and not dogs who are freaking them out. I can't tell you how many dogs go to daycare and they're just thrown in one big group and they're freaked out by one or two of the dogs, and their whole day is spent trying to get away from those dogs. And because the personnel at that daycare doesn't know how to like look at behavior and look at how behavior, you know, should be happening, that dog spends the whole day like, you as if he's in the prison yard trying to keep away from dogs that are going to gang up on him. And it's sad. And so, like I say, because we're doing all of this personality matching and we're doing all of this cycling and we're not allowing dogs to play too rough and we're throwing in obedience and we don't let dogs jump on us, the people, and we don't let dogs bark like crazy, both because it's bad manners and because of the neighbors. What we end up with is dogs that are getting a mental workout. You know, they're not just coming and getting a physical workout. And so dogs will go home tired from any daycare. You send a dog home, you know, you go to a regular daycare, the dog's gonna go home tired because he's been playing all day, but he's physically tired. But mentally, he hasn't been worked. Mentally, he hasn't been asked to wait at gates. Mentally, he hasn't been, you know, asked to not jump and to not play too rough and to have these boundaries and things like that. And so, dogs will get tired either which way, but dogs are gonna get tired here at a different level because their minds are getting worked, and that's important. And some dogs just aren't ready to be in groups. And so that's why we've got kind of this area off here to the side where, you know, we can kind of keep dogs. We call them grumpies. Dogs that are grumpy that are still learning how to, you know, that they can maybe be out with one or two dogs but can't be out with the whole group. That way they can still get their potty break. But like I say, it doesn't just start here. Here in a second, I want to show you how we get dogs in and out of, you know, the little dog suites in here, and how we make sure that, you know, they're not going crazy from the get-go. Because everything we do is designed to make sure that they follow boundaries, that they are having fun, and it's respectful fun.
Good job, Ollie.
So this is just an example. This is Phoenix. Phoenix is in boot camp, so he's not here for daycare. He came for boot camp for dog aggression. And so this is kind of one of the powers of having like a really good daycare group, is being able to, good. And so you see, we make sure that the dogs wait calmly before coming out, make sure that they have good rules and good discipline before coming out. We don't want dogs just like rushing into a group. That's one of the big problems that like any sort of group work. When I say any sort of group work, I'm talking about dogs who go to dog parks, which don't ever do that, it's a bad idea. But like you see dogs going to dog parks, they go in like all revved up, right? And being revved up like that,
okay, good.
You see how she gets that engagement first? Yeah, so we make sure he's waiting at doors, we make sure he's going in. If you see dogs, like I say, going into daycares and they're rushing in, they're bringing with them like this adrenaline that's not healthy. They're bringing with them this energy that's not healthy, because some dogs will see that energy and like want to play. But other dogs will see that energy and want to dominate. And other dogs will see that energy and want to fight. And other dogs will see that energy and it'll freak them out. And so that energy of entering a group is not normal. When you see balanced dogs greet each other, they don't come run up and like play like crazy. So think about this with your own dogs at home. Like if you're doing play dates with your dog, and when your dog sees another dog, they flip out and go nuts, something's off there. That's not how dogs should be greeting. It's not how you as a human should be greeting. And so anyways, like I say, when you see dogs greet at parks, when you see dogs greet at most boot camps and things like that, or enter the group, if they're entering a group that's already calm and they're bringing craziness with them, they can upset the balance of that group so quickly. And that's a big problem. And so like I said, that's one thing that we work on here. Like I said, this guy came in for dog aggression. And here he is around, you know, a half dozen other dogs. Hey buddy.
Okay.
A half dozen other dogs, and he's fine. You know, he's not necessarily wanting to interact with everyone, he's just kind of doing his own thing, but that's totally fine for him. And so that's one of the powers of a balanced group of dogs, is that can help a dog like him, whether we're talking training, whether we're talking things like that. It's all about creating this mindset that isn't going to be created at most daycares, that is never going to be created at dog parks, which is why dog parks are the bane of our existence. They create so much dog aggression. Hello, puppy.